Okay, so let's go back to our Eclipse, and firstly let's get all the elements with CSS selectors of product names. So we just saw that um, h4 dot product hyphen name CSS is giving you the all products. So use find elements plural here, because we are going to retrieve all the elements which have this CSS. Okay, so if you give only find element, then Selenium think that you need only one element with this CSS. So there are 30 elements already present on, right? By default it will give the first element whatever it sees on the screen, because you are just asking with singular. But if you say find elements, then it will give you all the matching results for this particular CSS. Okay, so that's the concept. Now, in general, return type of this find element is web element. So web element is the return type in the products. Okay, move your cursor on here and it says that change type of products to list of web element. Okay, so in general when you return only one element, then you can use web element as return type, but here you are returning the list of web elements, right? So in that case you have to tell whatever you are receiving is nothing but a list of these web elements. Okay, perfect. Now, so you have to iterate through these products. So let's write one simple for loop. I equals to 0. It starts from 0 and iterate until the size of this products. So when you say products dot, then you have a method called size. Let's say if it returns 30 elements, then this loop starts at 0th index and iterate through 30 times, because size of this list whatever it returned is 30. So increment every time. So what you want to do here? Basically every time you have to get one index out of this 30 and then get the text of this CSS selector which is a product name. Let's do that. So products, all the 30 items are now in this variable, right? Now when you do products dot get method will pull one particular value out of those 30 values. Which value you want to pull, that value index you have to pass inside this argument. Okay, so I will just pass I variable here, so that when the loop is iterating for first time, I equals to 0, 0 will be fallen here. That means we are extracting 0th index item. And next when loop iterates, I will become 1 and now I value is 1. Products dot get of 1. First item will be retrieved. Like this loop will run for 30 times and every time it will actually update this index, and every product you will get the control of every product. So once you get that control of that product with that index, on this you will apply get text to get the text present on that product card. So right now it returns 30, right? So on the 0th index when you do get text, it returns broccoli hyphen 1 kg. On first index when you do get text, it will return this. Okay, so whatever it returns, it doesn't matter. Let's store it in one variable, string name. Perfect. So our goal here is to get the card of cucumber. So let's write one if loop. If name dot, you can use either contains or equal ignores case, but equal ignores case will be little tricky here, because it's not only returning cucumber but it's also returning cucumber hyphen 1 kg. So if you apply get text on this, it just returns the whole string, right? So let's do contains. Contains is like regular expression, so you can just say that in if that name contains a word called cucumber. Okay, you see that this is the outer for loop which iterate 30 times. Every time when you reach one product and get that text, immediately you will check whatever text I got contains cucumber on it or not. If you have that, that means this is your right product. So now go inside the if block and apply, click on add to cart. Okay, so this is the concept. So for add to cart, I think we already written export, right? Okay, it's gone. Let's write it again. Slash slash button. Let me add to cart. Oops, it went off. Perfect. So it's again returning 30 elements. So driver dot again find elements because it have multiple by dot xpath, right. So earlier also you can use this, but problem is you don't know which button you need to click. Out of 30 indexes, you don't know which index have cucumber. But now you are in this block, right? When you come inside if block, that means the current index whatever you are in that for loop is that value having cucumber. It's obvious. Now when you initially start, it will pull out broccoli. Okay, broccoli is not matching with cucumber, so this will not at all go inside. And for loop again repeats, and this time I equals to 1, and it checks for cauliflower, and then it does not match, it won't go inside. But for the next time I equals to 2, when I equals to 2 it matches. So that means you are very very clear that the current I value whatever you have at this moment is nothing but index which cucumber is having. So you can happily say out of all the find elements, get me the index value, and that index value is I, because that current I value have cucumber. If it have I value cucumber, then only it's coming inside, right? Okay, once you identify using that index, you can just click on that. In this way you will be able to add that item to cart. That's it. So it's so generic, right? Tomorrow if cucumber is at 6th position or 8th position, no matter which position it is, because we are carefully scanning all the products what all we have, and whenever cucumber matches, that on that particular index only we were clicking on add to cart button. Okay, now it found at third index, right? Afterwards our loop will still continue 30 times, because we did not ever told to our Java program that stop here when you find cucumber. It find and it clicks on that, but loop will iterate for 30 times because we clearly told that start from 0 and finish up to 30. But our argument here is that when we already found at third index, why to waste time of running that for loop for remaining 27 times? Because our goal of having this for loop is completed once we get that cucumber. Okay, if it goes inside this block and if it clicks that product, then we are good. So to exit this for loop abruptly after your task is completed, you can add a keyword called break in Java. So that means it will simply come out of the for block whenever you get this statement. And it's valid that we are using this statement only after we found cucumber, and when it goes inside and after clicking on add to cart only we are using this. So we are good, right? So we have saved 27 iterations by putting this breakpoint. Okay, now let's say you want to add one more vegetable. Now you added cucumber, but what if you want to add broccoli as well? That's again tricky thing. So one simple argument what you can have is, that's fine, I will have one more for loop like this, and this time I'll run this whole for loop for broccoli. Something like this. That's a bad practice, isn't it? You are wasting so much lines of code, and that's not optimized way to do that. So how to handle when you are asked to identify multiple product names. So one thing what we can do is, first of all, let's have an expected array. So declare what all products you want to click. So have an array with a list of vegetables what you want to select, and then pass that array into this block, and whatever product you get from your for loop, check if that product is present in the array what you have. If it is present, then go and click. So that's the most optimized way of dealing this. So let me declare array first. You might be little confused, but let me do things practically and you will get the concept. See, slowly I am introducing more and more Java code, because you do have some basic level of understanding till last lecture. So we are trying to add for loop, if block, arrays. In this way we will mix both Selenium and Java. Right. How do you declare array in Java? So firstly, how do you declare variable in Java? We already did this. So simple way of declaring variable is string name equals to cucumber. Okay. So as this all variable is already defined, let me put names. So this is how you declare one variable. You give the variable name and assign value to that variable, and you have to tell what is the return type. So this is a string, right? So you have to give this is the string. Now when someone asks you to create array of strings, so that means this time we need multiple names in an array. So when you want to create array, it's very simple. Put brackets, one second, sorry, flower brackets, not this one. Right. So you have to enclose them in flower brackets, and as you want to give multiple products, just put comma and all the product names. Broccoli. So this is the one you want to click, right? Is the spelling correct? Broccoli. Okay. Right. So these are the different product names you want to give, and you also need to tell to your data type that whatever you are getting this time is not the strings, it's an array of strings, and you want to represent like this. Perfect. That's all. This is how you declare array. So first declare a variable and then add one more item, wrap them in flower braces, and tell to your return type that whatever you are getting, expect it as an array. Nice. So you know now how to declare arrays in Java. So now your goal is to iterate to each and every index, and when whatever the name you get from that product, if that is present in this array, then go and click that. Okay, if there are 100 items in this array, every item what you get from that index will check whether this name what you get from this product is present in this index or not. If it is present, then we will just go and click. So in this way, without writing extra code, you should be able to achieve it. Let's see that in our next lecture on how to do that. Thank you.